What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and today, man, got another Rage Reviews. This time, Season 2, Episode 6 of The Last of Us, and boy, oh boy, this episode was a doozy.
Woke up this morning, been in that shine, whole team got the glow, you can see it in the stride, got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, got me feeling brand new, yeah.
Man, this particular episode was emotional. I feel like is an understatement to what this episode was. Like it was jam-packed with emotion, with acting chops, character work, all that. Like it was just going crazy to see everything that has transpired in Ellie and Joel's relationship up until this point from Joel's perspective, and him not be here anymore was just heavy. It was heavy, and it was just like, bro, like emotional beat after emotional beat after emotional beat. We see him celebrating her 16th birthday, and him, their relationship just kind of developing in an interesting way, because it on one hand is growing, but on another hand we see her questioning what really happened with the Fireflies. And it's just like, yo, like even though she didn't actually ask him at this point, just to see her even having the question within herself, like I need to ask him about this because something ain't right. We see them. The episode starts with just a flashback of Joel's childhood and just his conversation with his dad. We see him taking up for his brother Tommy. His brother Tommy got in trouble. And his dad was a cop, so his dad came home. Tommy was worried he was gonna get beat, and Joel was like, nah, don't worry about it. I'll take the rap for you. And so his dad comes home. He kind of confronts his dad and tells him what went on, or at least his version of what went on, and how it was Joel's fault. And his dad was just like, bro, I'm not stupid. I know it was your brother Tommy. I know he was tripping. I know he was the one who purchased the drugs. Things got out of hand. You saw it, and you went to go handle it with your fists. I know what happened. And Joel was just like, look, you're not gonna hurt him. And you could just see that standoff in that moment just like affect his dad, and his dad just be like, you know what? I tried my best. Like, look, I know I don't handle everything correctly, but I tried my best with what I had. Like, my dad busted my whole situation right here off of a situation of me getting in trouble. He was like, I know I might not do right by y'all all the time, but I ain't never beat y'all like that. He's like, yeah, I might hit you, but I ain't never hit y'all like that. Like, I was in the hospital, I had my jaw wired shut, all this from my pops going off on me. I ain't never went off on y'all like that. And I was just like, dang, this is heavy. Like, Buddy really doing the best he can with how he knows how to father. And it was just sad. He just hit him with the line. He was just like, look, man, when you have kids, I pray you do a little bit better than me. And it was just like, man, he was like, I did a little bit better than him. I pray you do a little bit better than me. And I was just like, dang, that bar kind of set with you for a little bit. It was like, dang, the parents really be out here struggling to do the best they can by their kids for what they know how to be parents and stuff like that. And it's just like, as a parent, it was just like, low key, I feel you. It's a lot of stuff you kind of learn to do differently as you parent your children. And it's just like, bruh, it was a dope line to me. Then we pick back up with Joel and Ellie, and we see them celebrating her 16th birthday. We see him getting a cake, bartering with some Legos to get a cake, to get some utensils so he can work on building a guitar for her. He did all these things for her 16th birthday, took her out on her first scouting mission. And they went to the museum. She got to see Tyrannosaurus Rex, a statue, and she got to see the solar system, and they got to get into a spacecraft in the museum. And he found a tape where they had a record of like the launch and stuff like that. And it was cute. It was like a dope father-son. I mean, not father-son. It was like a dope father-daughter day out for them two, and just seeing them two just kind of bond in that moment was it was precious. And to even see in that moment as the time continued to move forward, and as the different situations they encountered, we see Ellie going over a note that she had written down to try to confront Joel about the truth of what happened with the Fireflies, and she was rehearsing it, and then Joel kind of sneaks up on her, knocks on the garage door, because she ends up moving out to the garage at this particular point, and we see what transpired with that whole altercation. The whole reason why she wanted to move out into the garage in the first place is because Joel came home early to celebrate her birthday again, and Ellie had a girl in the room and got a fresh tattoo, and of course they was messing around. Joel kind of bombarded the whole situation, and just was kind of upset and disappointed because he kind of had like the old school mentality, and they were just clashing right there, and it was just interesting to just see the dynamic. And so Ellie tried to take it upon herself to try to move her stuff into the garage so she could have her own space, and Joel was just like, after like kind of confronting her about it, he was just like, you know what, you can have your own space, but let's do it in the morning. For now, just rest. And so he ended up fixing up the garage for her to move in there, and then he knocks on her door as more time has passed, and they go on their first scouting mission, and he's finally letting her be able to be on the scout team by herself. And that's when they go and see the museum and stuff. They also get radioed as they're leaving that they're the closest group. They're the closest group to another group that's kind of been caught off guard by the infected. So they go to the group, and this is where we finally get to see what happened with Eugene, the therapist of the Jackson, Wyoming crew, her husband, and we see that his whole scouting team got decimated by the infected, and he also got bit. And we see that he still had time. His hand wasn't shaking when he was talking. He was still he still had his right mind about him for a moment. So what he wanted to do, what he was begging to do, was to go back to Jackson at a safe distance from the city, have his wife come out there at a safe distance, and just have one last moment before he get up out of there. And Joe was just like, man, I can't do that. And then once Ellie realized he had some time, he was like, hey man, he got time. We can at least let him see his wife. So Joe was like, all right, we'll go get the horses. She goes, gets the horses. Joel walks him down to the lake and allows him to see the view of the city from the lake, and then pretty much lets him know that I can't let you go back to the city. And even though he promised Ellie that he was going to let him return, he ends up taking out Eugene. And they have a moment, in that moment, him and Eugene, of just how if it's somebody you, because he wanted to see his wife for one last time, and he was just like, well, if it's somebody you love, you should never forget their face, and you should always be able to see their face with your imagination or whatever. And Eugene just kind of takes that last moment to visualize his wife, and then Joel takes him up out of there. Ellie gets back right after the situation happened, looking shocked and appalled. And we see Joel just looking disappointed and just like, I had to do what I had to do. And when we get back there, I'm going to tell her what she needs to know. I'm going to tell his wife what she needs to know. And we just going to move on from there. So they get back to Jackson, and we see her pretty much, Eugene's wife, just disheveled. And Joel is telling her this whole kind of fake story of the truth of how, instead of him begging for time to see his wife, how he was brave and he ended up ending it himself, and he knew he was big and he didn't want to jeopardize the city and all that stuff. And Ellie's just looking at him the whole time, pissed. And we see Joel, his wife is just in shambles. She gives Joel a hug, and Joel's like, it's okay. And as he's hugging her, Ellie's like, yo, that's not what happened. And tells her the truth of everything. She's now pissed at Joel, so this is why she's still pissed at Joel, even though she was helping him with therapy early on in the season. Pushes Joel away, asks him to leave, then just pretty much falls into Tommy's arm as she grieves and Tommy grieves. And we see Ellie and Joel just kind of, their relationship fractured in that moment, even more than it already was. And we kind of see that Ellie knows that he was lying about what happened with the Fireflies, based on the lie that he told Eugene's wife, and just him having that same face and that same look as he told her what happened with the Fireflies. And she's just like, yo, you lied to me. You lied to me to my face the same way you lied to her. And you could just see their relationship just deteriorates after that. And then it picks back up, does another time jump right to the New Year's Eve celebration where Ellie and Dina get ostracized by the old man who calls them dykes at the party. And Joel just immediately jumps up and knocks him over, tells him to get up out of here. And Tommy's wife helps him away. And we kind of see that whole situation shift, and we see it unfold from Joel's perspective, and just him spending time with Tommy and Tommy's wife and his nephew, and knowing that the situation between him and Ellie is fractured, but wanting it to be mended. And of course, Ellie embarrasses him that night just by kind of cursing him out in front of everybody, like, yo, I don't need your effing help, and blah, blah. And then we see Joel pretty much back at the crib later that night, playing the guitar. Ellie walks up, walks away. But then she comes back, and they actually have a conversation, and he tearfully confesses as she asks questions about what happened with the Fireflies, because she pretty much called him out on his BS, like, yo, you lied to me. You lied to me with the same face that you lied to Eugene's wife about what happened to him. And so it was just like, just seeing everything that transpired, Joel was breaking completely down, because she was like, yo, if you lie to me again, we're done. Like, if you lie to me again in this moment, we're done. There's nothing more that you can do. And Joel just breaks down and just is honest with her in the moment. And she's like, look, man, first of all, she was pissed that he did what he did. She was just like, you robbed me of my purpose. I was like, dang, that kind of, she was ready to die, low key. She was ready to die in that moment, and he stopped it all from happening. And even said, look, if I had it to do again, I'd do the same thing. And she was just like, yo, that's not fair. You're selfish. And just all this honest emotion just coming out. Both of them crying, both of them tearful. And then we just see, we just see her just kind of come to her senses and like, look, I don't know if I can forgive you for this, but I want to work on this relationship, and I want to work on this. I want to forgive you, but I don't know if I can. And we just see the episode pretty much end back in present day, right after the hospital situation, and we see Ellie arriving in the rain back at the theater where Jesse and Dina should be after they separated from the Seraphites. And man, this episode, it was just heavy, man. So much emotion, so much raw emotion, so much great acting from Pedro Pascal and from the young lady who plays Ellie, Bella Ramsey. And man, they did just such a phenomenal job. Like I give this episode a 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna hold you. Just it wasn't a whole lot of action, but just the emotional beats were so heavy. It was just like, man, it was crazy, because it was just like, even when Joel was confessing the honest truth about what happened with the Fireflies to Ellie, he even hit her with the line his pops used on him. It was like, look, it's something you might not understand right now, but if you ever have a child of your own, I just pray that you do a little bit better than I did. And I was just like, oh, not with the daddy bar. Like, he just dropped the daddy bar on her. I was just like, all right, man, y'all, where my tissues at? Where are the tissues? Like, where you just gonna get me all up in my feels as a father? Like, come on, dog, stop it. Stop it. What are we doing? Somebody pass me a Kleenex, please. Like, what are we doing? So yeah, this episode was mad emotional. took you through all the feels. Beautiful episode, beautifully executed, beautifully shot. This chef's kiss, 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, man, this episode is beautiful. Definitely tap in with the show if you haven't already. The Last of Us, they're on their second season. There's only one more episode left. There's 7 episodes in season 2. There were 8 episodes in season 1. And man, season 1 was phenomenal. Season 2 has been on par. Season 2 has been on par and has been just as phenomenal as season 1 was. And yeah, they've executed this perfectly. Now, I've heard rumblings that there will be a season 3 to finish off the rest of the story, because they still haven't even really got through much of the second game, because the second game was very massive. But we shall see how this unfolds, where they're going to stop at for the season finale, and I'm excited. So far, this season has unfolded very, very smoothly, very beautifully. And tap in if you haven't already, man. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in, and stay locked in. And add Last of Us to your watch list if you haven't already. And comment below what's been your favorite part so far, because this episode was just, whew, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in. As a father, it was a lot to take in. I'm not gonna hold you. It was heavy all around. But yeah, man, never forget, it's free soul to the soul free. Let's get it.